You can't finish anything because you think it's never good enough. I know exactly why this happens to you. The truth is simple. You're trying to be way too perfect. Contrary to what you think, perfectionism isn't about wanting to do your best. It's just fear of not pleasing people. And that's what's keeping you stuck in the same place, and I'm going to show you why. Since we were kids, we've been programmed to be perfectionists, and that happens for a very simple reason. We crave our parents' approval. You want them to be proud of you, and the only way you know how to do that is by doing everything they consider right. If your parents think the right thing is to get the best grades, be the top student, never cause trouble, then that's exactly what you're going to chase. All of this ends up making the child believe they need to be perfect at everything, because that's the only way to earn the approval of the people they love the most. And it all comes from a very basic survival instinct that every human has: avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. For example, if a child sticks their finger in an outlet, they get shocked. That causes pain, so their brain learns, don't do that again or you'll get hurt. But when a child eats chocolate, it releases feel-good hormones in the brain, making them feel amazing. So the brain learns, that felt good, do it again. And it's not just the body, it happens with the mind too. When a child gets a bad grade, the parents get mad, criticize, or even punish them. That creates emotional pain. But when they get a good grade, they get praise, a smile, maybe even a hug, or a "I'm proud of you." That small gesture already activates pleasure hormones in their brain. The result, they start linking getting things right with being loved. And that's where the conditioning begins. They start believing they have to get everything right, that they can't mess up, that they have to be perfect, and that belief grows with them. Perfection turns into a virus that spreads to every area of their life. Now it's not just about getting the best grades anymore. It's about being the best at work, having the perfect body, the perfect life, pleasing the boss, pleasing your boyfriend or girlfriend, pleasing your friends. You become a slave to other people's approval. Back then, all you wanted was for your parents to be proud of you. Now you want the whole world to approve of you. This is very dangerous because it creates an invisible wall that stops you from moving forward. You get stuck in the same place. This happens for two reasons. First, you're chasing something that doesn't exist. Second, you waste a lot of energy on it. As you all know, our energy is limited. When you wake up, your energy is at its peak. But as the day goes on, your energy gets depleted. So there comes a point when you need to recharge your energy. Today, we don't really worry about using up all our energy, but in the past, you couldn't do that. Because if that happened and some danger appeared in front of you, you wouldn't have the energy to react and you'd end up dead. That's why our mind tries to save as much energy as possible, to store it and use it only when really necessary. That's how it keeps us alive. Even though we don't live in that time anymore, this survival instinct is still with us. Our mind wants to save as much energy as possible so it avoids difficult tasks because it knows they'll require a lot of effort. That's when procrastination kicks in. Your mind, trying to save you from all that work, makes you put it off and do something easier that doesn't require as much energy. So instead of doing what you need to do, you grab your phone, play a game, watch a show or a movie, and that task you had to do that should have taken a few hours ends up taking days, weeks, or even months to get done, all because you want to make it perfect. If you want to put an end to this, you need to remove that word from your vocabulary, because perfection doesn't even exist. We don't have anything solid we can use as a standard to define what perfect really is. It's something deeply personal. What I consider perfect might not be perfect to you, just like what you see as perfect might not be perfect to me. It all comes down to individual perception. You might do something you believe is perfect and someone else might think it's terrible. The truth is, if you spend your life chasing what others define as right, all you're gonna get is frustration, because it's impossible to please everyone. Not even Jesus managed to do that. So imagine us, imperfect human beings. There's a story about an old man, a boy, and a donkey that perfectly explains what I mean. It all starts with a grandfather asking his grandson to go with him to the market on the other side of town to sell the family's donkey. The boy agrees and they leave immediately. But before they leave, the old man tells the boy they should walk instead of riding the donkey so it wouldn't look tired when they arrived at the market. That way they get a better price for it. Along the way, some people see them walking and start laughing. They can't understand why the two have a donkey but are walking beside it. Hearing this, the grandfather tells the boy to hop on the donkey so they can keep going. But further ahead, another group comments on how wrong it is for a young, energetic boy to ride while the old man walks. So the grandfather asks the boy to get off so he can ride instead. They keep going. But it doesn't take long before others start judging the old man for riding while the little child walks. In response, the grandfather decides they should both ride the donkey together. Even then, people start saying how cruel it is to make the donkey carry that much weight. So finally, the old man decides they should carry the donkey on their backs to stop people from judging them. But it doesn't work either. People still call them crazy for carrying the donkey instead of riding it. The moral of the story is this: if you try to please everyone, you'll end up disappointing the most important person in your life, yourself. That's why you have to do what you believe is right and stop caring about anyone else's opinion, because there will always be someone ready to criticize you, say what you're doing is wrong, say it's not good enough, say you need to improve or do it differently. But you know what? Let them talk. You don't have to be perfect. The more you try to be perfect, the more you move away from who you really are. All you need to do is embrace your imperfection, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you who you are. Think about it. If everyone could do everything perfectly, the world would be a boring place. Everyone would be the same, with nothing that made us stand out. The truth is, evolution only exists because of imperfection. Human beings are incapable of copying anything exactly the same. And that's where the magic happens, because every time we try to copy something, we end up creating something new, something different. You can test this with a very simple exercise. Take a piece of paper and a pen and draw a star. Now try to copy that star. You'll notice you can never draw the exact same thing again. There's always a line that's slightly different, a point more crooked, or a detail out of place. And you know what? That's what's amazing. Maybe you always saw this as a problem, but now you can see that it's exactly what allows you to create something new. Nothing in this world was created from zero. Everything that exists today came from a reference, a base, and inspiration. We look at something, try to replicate it, and in the process, we end up innovating, creating something completely new. There's a famous quote that says, "Nothing is created, everything is copied." And it's absolutely true. But what no one tells you is that the copy is never perfect. That's why new things keep appearing in the world every day, because of our imperfection. We are all co-creators. We don't invent things out of thin air. We create based on what already exists. We watch, learn, mess up, fix things, and grow. And it's through that entire process that something new is born. I want to make something very clear to you. It's not because you can't create something perfect that you won't get results. Quite the opposite. It's much more likely that you'll find success by creating imperfect things than by trying to make everything flawless. That's because imperfection connects people. When you show your flaws, your mistakes, your failed attempts, people look at you and think, "He's just like me." That's what creates connection. And that is how you truly reach people, deep down in their souls. You need to understand something. No one connects with a perfect, unreachable, flawless image. All that does is create comparison, distance, and frustration. But when you show who you really are, with all your strengths and your flaws, you become real. And real has way more power than perfect. So stop trying to be a robot that gets everything right. Burn this into your mind once and for all. Done is better than perfect. Those who understand this grow much faster in life, because while perfectionists stay stuck, waiting for the perfect moment, smart people move forward and adjust along the way. But pay close attention. This is not an excuse to do things carelessly and think it's okay just because done is better than perfect. That's not the point. The real meaning is simple. It's better to deliver something well done, even if it's not perfect, than to stay trapped in endless doubts and insecurities. If you only act when everything seems perfect, you waste time, you miss opportunities, and even worse, you block your own growth. Done is better than perfect as long as what's done is done with care, dedication, and responsibility. Those who understand this learn, improve, evolve, and in the end, go much further than any perfectionist.